na 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 na
Square
na
round
na.
You know, you need to tune in if you want to hear So we Chad, Josh, Dmitri, and Marcus every Friday.
It's the Square Round Table.
Tune in.
It's the Square Round Table podcast. Tune in every Friday. Let's have a blast. I know at work you had a long day. Just relax and tune in.
Make sure you tune in weekly, every Friday. MajorZoneMusic.com. We also tune on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. So yeah.
All right, what's going on, my freaks and geeks out there? We are the Square Round Table podcast. Yeah, boys. So what's going on with y'all, man? How's everything been going?
Chilling, living life, doing the thing.
Yeah, everything's been going pretty good. I guess on my end, I got back into one of my hobbies. Like, for instance, I like to build model kits from this show called Gundam. Like basically the Gundam model kits, and yeah. Oh yeah, you already know. It's a real good show. But yeah, I got back into building those, and I was in the middle of building one. So yeah, but that's pretty much that. And I also got a airbrush and a few more supplies for that, so I can do it better than I was doing it previously. But yeah, this is a nice hobby to have, and I've been doing it since I was about 14.
Yeah, I remember those days.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
No, you've been doing those for a minute, bro. Like I mean, you got like how many actually put together?
I think I got about 35 or 40.
And your collection of Gundams is like my collection of Pops, man. Like
No. Your collection of Pops is ridiculous. You gotta have at least like 85 by now.
Yeah.
Not 85. I'm nowhere near the 80s yet, man. I've been slowing down. I've been.
You just bought one today. What do you mean?
Yeah, I bought one today after 3 months of not buying one, because like I went through a period of not buying them. So I've been slowing down. Coronavirus has slowed my productivity.
Oh,
down,
whatever. You act like you don't have Amazon.
Hey,
Right.
I only use Amazon for essential stuff like this mic and this camera and this little switchboard thing I got going here. Essential things, man. I'm not over here buying Pops out.
BS.
I ain't like y'all who's buying like anime, like Film Alchemist anime all the time.
Hey, look, guys, look.
guess.
For everybody watching us on YouTube right now, the reason that Demetrius has that background up is so you can't see all the Funko Pops in the background.
Hey, I ain't in that room. I'm not in that room. I'm in a whole different room. You can't pull that card.
At least Marcus wants to show what he has. Demetrius is lying to you guys. He has.
Hey. I just don't have my setup yet, man. I can't set this up the way I want to. If I had it my way, it'd be Pops everywhere, posters everywhere in this place. But this ain't my place. So
I got this guy right here watching at all times. One of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy.
Yeah, he survived his off-screen death. And he's back now. So
Yes.
Hey, there you go, man.
Mandalorian plug.
Yeah.
Right, good little Mandalorian plug, man. But yeah, guys, it's for me, it's kind of been a little bit of a busy week. I've been trying to get myself prepared. I got for all the viewers out there, I actually got invited back to my alma mater to teach a class actually on it's a biology research class. So I'll be teaching on Friday. Appreciate it. Big shout out to Atlanta Metropolitan State College. Big shout out to Dr. Chapman, Dr. Crawford, all you guys. Appreciate you for inviting me out. But yeah, I'm gonna be teaching on Friday, and pretty much all week I've been trying to get my lesson plan together. I'm gonna be talking about ways to apply the knowledge that you learned while in undergrad, and also great ways to make your resume work for you. So those are the two biggest things that helped me out in my career. And pretty much when I got them down, it just kind of helped my career skyrocket. So just being able to, give back and help out students and sort of be that person for them that I needed when I was in that position, you can't beat that. So really excited about that. It's kind of nerve-wracking, but also I'm really happy and I can't wait to do it. So we'll see how that goes on Friday.
Professor Chad.
Yeah,
Professor
man.
Chad.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm sure it'll
got
go
another title.
class and crash it. I'm gonna ask like a million dumb.
He'll be that one guy in the back asking the most random questions, not even about on topic. He's gonna ask random questions.
Excuse me, sir.
Right.
Excuse me, sir. What does that mean?
Right.
Hey,
I'll be
it's
like,
it's like
I'll
the
be
word like art. He's like, what does that mean? What's art mean?
In
Like-
what way do
Right.
you mean art?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, actually, that's actually a good biology question. What does ART mean? That's antiretroviral transmission medications for AIDS. So that's a good question. That's
There
actually
you go. Look, hey, smart, big brain.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Chad thinks he
So-
knows something, even paying attention.
Whatever, man.
He came out.
But yeah, speaking of like resumes and whatnot, yeah, Chad, tell us some things that might make your resume stand out some more, or some key elements to making a great resume. Like what's some
Yeah.
stuff that you might put on there to make it shine?
Certainly, and just for a little backup, it's ART is antiretroviral therapy, not transmission. So just wanted to clear that up for you guys. But anyway, so for especially for the people in the field of like biology or chemistry or anybody that did that in undergrad and you want to get a job in a laboratory specifically, and even outside of that career, just anybody that's trying to get any kind of job, the biggest thing is on your resume, you want to cut out all the fluff. So you want to go in there and tell your hiring manager or anybody from HR exactly who you are and what you can bring to the table. So specifically for me, I graduated with my degree in biological science, and I wanted to get a lab position, specifically either a chemistry position or biology. I ended up actually working for 2 labs as a lab tech for one company called Clark Environmental, and most recently a chemical analyst for a company called AES, and that's Analytical Environmental Services. And I really had an issue with setting up my resume before then, because Joshua, you saw me going to job interviews every day, bro. Like coming back, I thought it was like the best interviews of my life. And seriously, I would go in and tell these guys all this stuff. I'd be so excited. I tell them, yeah, I did this research and got this award, and I'm the type of person that is a leader, and I'm good with people, and I feel like I can do this and that and this and that. And I thought the, interviews were great. And then I'd come back and either I'd never hear from them again, or, I would get a call back and they'd be like, hey, we appreciated you, but you're not exactly what we're looking for. Okay, cool. So one day on the way to a job interview, I actually, I had to take an Uber that day because I didn't have a car at the time, but the person that was driving me to my job interview actually was a hiring manager for another laboratory. And he basically told me the 3 things that these labs look for specifically. And one being, can you follow directions? 2 being, can you start a project and finish it? And the 3rd being, well, are you at least familiar with some of the lab equipment? Because you got to remember, a lot of these jobs, you're going to have a lot of on-the-job training. So when you get to these positions, they're not expecting you to know how to do everything correctly or to know exactly how to work the machinery. Because even if you have certain things like, for instance, in my job, I work with fume hoods, I work with pipetters, micropipetters. I work with discrete analyzers. These are all things that are in specific labs, like maybe chemistry labs, or you have stuff like if you work in a micro lab and you work with microscopes and things like that. But 9 times out of 10, the company that you work for is going to have some kind of in-house way of working with that equipment that they're going to teach you along the way. And what I find is that a lot of students are scared going into these job interviews, and like me, you feel insufficient because you're like, okay, I'm going into this position and I don't know either a lot about this lab equipment, or I feel like I didn't have a lot of education, or I didn't have a lot of experience working with this equipment. And that's okay, as long as you got your degree and you got the education behind you. That means you've worked with pretty much all the equipment that you're going to need to work these types of jobs. And these hiring managers at these jobs, you're fresh out of college, they know that. They know that you probably haven't worked in 5, 6 other labs before that, because how could you? They know that, okay, if this person at least has had experience with such and such, when he gets into this lab, number one, he's going to know how to conduct himself in a lab environment. Number two, these materials aren't going to look foreign, to him. So when he sees it, even though it might be a little on the job training, it's not something that's going to be totally like, oh, I've never seen that before. So that'll fit into the just knowing, the specifics, or knowing how to, or knowing that you've seen that specific equipment before. And then certain things like, can you start and finish a project? That's simple, especially for the school I went to. Atlanta Metropolitan State College. The biggest thing for us that we had, and I'm pretty sure they had something like that for you too, Marcus and Dmitri, like you have a end of the year project, right? Or a senior project, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that right there is a way of saying, okay, this guy can start and finish a project, because you started somewhere in between your junior or sophomore semester and you finish it when you're a senior. So that right there is already in place. And all you have to do is tell your, or make sure you put that on your resume for a hiring manager or what have you, that, yeah, I have started a project. You have your receipts basically that I have started this project and I have finished it. And then also you have the thing, okay, can this person follow directions? Well, yeah, that fits into that same category. If you have started a research project and finish it, well, obviously, you're not going to be the primary investigator. Your professor or your lab teacher or your lab instructor is. So they give you instructions that you have to follow to be able to follow through with the experiment and get to the goal, which is like finishing it and getting your results. So it was kind of long-winded, but those are basically the 3 things, especially in my field, that'll help you do really well with your resume, and 9 times out of 10 get you a pretty good job. So.
And I would like to add to that is like, don't be afraid to like go to somebody like a resume writer. Like they're really good at like fine tuning and like having the right I say words that like that jobs are looking for hiring. Because I had did my resume, I had everything on there, but I just wasn't using the right language and like saying it the right way. And when they redid my resume, I started getting a lot more, buzz, and I started getting a lot more callbacks and stuff like that, and hired a lot in different places. So don't be afraid to do that. Like it's it's going to cost you something, but like it's a little bit of a cost for like a bigger thing. So
exactly.
Yeah, that's great stuff, guys. But yeah, Dmitri, since Chad went a pretty winded explanation of his profession, which I don't mind. It's great to for our
like
viewers.
Take us all through the science town.
At one point, it seemed like he was speaking another language. I was like, okay.
Yeah, he was. I was following it a little bit. Then after a while, I was like, okay, cool. I feel it.
I mean, it's good for the viewers to kind of get to know who we are. But
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, Demetrius, tell everybody what you do and what was your experience and whatnot.
What I do for a living is I work with autistic kids, so I teach them kind of like social skills. Like I teach them everything that they really need to be successful in society or into society. So like simple things like emotions and stuff like that we kind of already know. I'm teaching them stuff like that, or like, some of them aren't verbal, so I teach them how to say, maybe like a letter or like a word, and eventually it builds up, and teach them like how to like play with kids, like like playing like nursery games and stuff like that, or how to follow like directions, like if I tell them to stay next to me, or I say, "Hey, come here," they will do that because like a teacher's gonna do those things. So our goal is to be able to make sure like when they leave our program that they can go to school and they can they can fit in. So that's what I do, and I love doing it. I've been doing it for almost 3 years now. It's definitely not for everyone, but if you you like working with kids and you like you have a passion for it, I'd recommend it.
That's cool. Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah, it's good stuff. It should be and here at the Square Roundtable, we're really big on education, especially when like dealing with kids that I think it's real interesting what Demetrius does because I think it's really good to prevent bullying because kids are, can be real how could I put it, real
That's a nice way to say it. Go ahead, try to figure it out. Like,
I don't want to say exactly what it is, but kids can be real cruel.
Yeah, they have no filter. They have no filter at all.
Basically, what Demetrius is doing here is, kind of making them, I wouldn't say look like everybody else, but kind of help them, fit in better.
Yeah.
So they won't be so singled out from everybody. Because everybody has things that make them special and whatnot, but unfortunately, kids just don't have the tools to see that at the moment in time.
Yeah, they're very honest about like if you're different, they're like, oh, this guy's different for whatever reason that is, and they will make fun of you for it. And then like it wasn't out of like a spite or anything. It's just for like noticing that there's something different about you.
Right. Exactly, and like being different, like being different could be like anything. Like you're different as in like you might be taller, or you might be even smarter, or your hair might be longer. One of those things. So it could just be anything. Kids will make fun of you for anything.
Yeah, you
They'll
could
make
be
fun of you for having the crispiest hairline in class.
They go, look at this man. He spent $300 on his hairline. Talking about he spent $300 on his hairline and stuff.
Like, Josh, why is your hairline so crispy? I don't know.
I mean, you could dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and a kid will literally find a way to make fun of you. Like, he's the most like quiet kid in the background. He's like, this guy in the back is really quiet. Let's talk about it.
Right. Which is how school went for me a lot of the time.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure it's been like that for everybody.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marcus, tell us your experiences with stuff and what you go to college for and the stuff that you're interested in and whatnot,
Well, I went to school at first I went for art. Because I wanted to be an artist, I wanted to be an animator, I wanted to draw comic books, all that good stuff. So I did that for like a year and a half, and then I ended up taking a film class that I failed like early on in my like beginnings of my rocky school career, as I would say. But I ended up taking it and I passed it, and the professor I took it with, he actually got me more, interested in film. And I was like, man, I've always liked movies and stuff. And, I always had that passion for like making a story or just creating that, kind of environment. I said, why don't I just dig deeper into it and like see what it's about? So I flipped my major, turned it to film. And I was like, I'm going to choose this path because either way, it's still art. So I ended up doing that. I got my associates in that at Georgia Perimeter. Well, it's Georgia State Perimeter now. Ended up staying with Georgia State. Went there, finished, got my bachelor's in film with my minor in art, because it's crazy because I did that because I found out that I could carry all the stuff I took when I did art, and I didn't have to do anything but take like a couple of classes. So I was like, okay, I can keep my art background and do my film at the same time. So, I went to school to do film, and I took it's different like ways you can study it in college. You can go like the production stage where you like go through more like taking production classes where to teach you how to edit, like how to shoot, camera work, what the boom mic does, how to set up lights, basically preparing you like if you actually going to work on a set. And then they also had like the Georgia Film Academy, but I was a junior, so I couldn't take it in those classes because I think it was for like freshmen and sophomores. So I missed out on that. But then you got like the writing side and the theory. So I went more towards writing and theory because I've always been interested, like I said, in writing and coming up with stories. So I was like, I want to understand, the philosophical side of it and like, the psyche of it. Like, how does it work? How does film actually work as far as like, what makes this, what makes like mise scene? Like, that's all the elements of a film that makes it work. Like the set, the costume design, the cinematographers, all that stuff you see that goes into making a movie come to life, and I learned stuff like German expressionism, like where they had like those big shapes and how that was like an early part of film. It's so much stuff you learn from like the history of it, and it was such a joy. I enjoyed the ride. I still learn stuff every day, and hopefully my goal is to start getting some stuff out. But right now I'm getting back in my creative process, like trying to get my creative mind going. And I feel it's weird because I feel it like every day. I might not write nothing down, or I might not, type anything or draw anything, but it's like I keep getting all these ideas every day. And it's like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know where it's coming from, but I guess it's, my psyche telling me, hey man, it's time to start doing it again, Because when I was in college, I was actually more creative in college than I am now because I guess I had a motive, like, I'm in school. Yeah, I'm in school. I gotta get these grades. But at the same time, while my mind is working, let me go ahead and pump a few little stories out and, do ABC. Hey. So once I got out of college, I kind of hit like a decline, and I was like, well, I'm just going to chill for a minute because I've been working so hard for all these years. So I was like, I'm just going to sit back. If I come up with something, I will. So actually, when I started doing this with y'all, that's what started getting me back, like in that creative mode, like doing little videos and stuff like that. So that's pretty much, all I do. I ain't no big like movie producer or nothing yet, or no director.
Not yet.
Yeah,
not yet, but
it's coming though. It's coming.
Hey,
you already know a lot of stuff.
I just got a 9-to-5 job. I am part of the the regular people, so I'm trying to work my way there.
We all are. We all trying to make it.
Hey, Marcus. Like what? Like not to put you on the spot, but like what kind of like genre would you want to like kind of if you had to make a film, like where would your genre be? Like would it be action, adventure, like etc.?
For me, it would go more into like, well, number one, whatever I do is gonna be a period piece, because I love doing stuff in different like periods and decades of history. So it's gonna be some kind of period piece, but it would be Western theme, like film noir. I love like those noir detective movies. That's why I love Batman, because Batman is a lot of film noir, which I heard Matt Reeves is kind of doing with his Batman film.
Yeah. And
a little bit of action adventure, because we all nerds here at the Square Round Table, so we love comic books
Big time.
and heroes. So I gotta take into consideration that too. But like I said, I love a little bit more Western sci-fi, period pieces, stuff like that, because especially like with sci-fi, a lot of sci-fi has more connections to Westerns because of the themes and like the motifs they use. Like Star Wars is just like one big Western, especially like now is like really obvious. Like with the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, yeah. Episode 2.
Season 2. The very first episode is a straight up Western. Like
Oh
hands down,
yeah.
there's no hiding it. No like trying to have little hints and Easter eggs. It's a straight Western. So if I had a chance to do it, I would start like in that kind of direction. Because because when I actually wrote something in college, I actually went the opposite of what I would choose to write, and I did like a little romantic kind of like not
Night in
drama,
Harlem.
but like a romantic period piece. And I think Chad and
Yeah,
Josh.
was it Night in Harlem?
Yeah, Night in
Yeah, it
Harlem,
was.
right?
We had to write
Oh, okay.
a 10-minute play, and I was like, man, what can I write a play about? Because everything I want to do is like action, gunslinging, or some kind of dystopian future or something like that. So I was like, what can I do? And I was like, why don't I just write a like this kind of love story about two young kids, two young adults really, because they were in their 20s, at a nightclub in Harlem during a time where everything was so like serious and the consequences were so dire, which was the civil rights movement, and just show one night of, that, our group of people actually enjoying, a good time, because at the end of the day, they were still like regular, early 20s, black men and women who went and still had a good time. They weren't always just, that's not the only thing they did. So I was like, let's explore, and let's just throw some names in there. Let's drop Sam Cooke as the, for that night, because who doesn't love Sam Cooke? Everybody loves Sam Cooke. He was big at that time. Let's put Muhammad Ali in there as a little cameo, right before he became Muhammad Ali, when he was Cassius Clay, and I just centered around these two people, because they were like the main focus of the story, because they were from two different sides of the civil rights movement. One was from Malcolm X's side, one from Dr. King. And, I wanted to show how that could clash on like, the, like, what is political or whatever level you want to say. And then at the same time, just two people meeting each other for the first time and actually trying to interact, and flirt with each other, or, try to get to know each other. And then on top of that, they have that, in the background, like, okay, well, this is what I believe in, but oh, this is what I believe in. But the way I got it, to kind of melt together, and they saw, the heart. That's what I wanted to be about. You see the person's heart and who they really are. You don't go off of what their beliefs are and anything, and that's what more of the story was. So I was surprised that I pulled it off, because I didn't think I could do anything like that, because I've never been into like, the flirty, mushy gushy stuff. Like I always can like hint at it, but to actually do a full like, dialogue, everything, I was like, wow. Like as I was writing it, I was like, man, how am I coming up with all this? Like it was one of those moments where like my hands was like this. I didn't know what was going on. It was like an out of body experience. Like I didn't even know what I was writing. And then when I seen it, I was like, damn, I wrote all of that. Like and for people out there who want to get into writing and all that, dialogue is the hardest thing to write, because you can't make it too much and you can't make it too little. Like you want to cut a little fat off, but leave a little bit on, because you don't want to make it like drag where people will be like, okay, now they're just talking too long. So the dialogue was hard to get down. The vision, like as you writing it, it's so cool, like how it works as you writing. And I know I'm like going on and on, but I get really excited.
Oh, you good?
I do your thing, man.
Like as you write, for me as a writer, whenever I'm writing something down, it could be like a few sentences or a little description or something. I always see it in my head. And I guess that's like a filmmaker kind of thing. Like you see it in your head and you vision it, but as you write it, and it's like you can see the, the scene, the lighting, where the camera is, or if it's like that was a play, where they would be on the stage, how it would sound if Sam could. Like, I did research on like how Sam could when he performed live. You know, how he would play with the mic, or if he would take a smoke break in between, or how he talked to the crowd. I listened to one of his live albums, you know, to kind of hear like what the crowd reaction would be like, if it felt like people were sweaty, or if it was real chill and you could hear women screaming and stuff. So I just, you know, tried to figure out like what these people were like back then. And it was so funny because, well, not funny, but it was interesting because I said it at a good time, but the events to follow it was like dark because I put it at a time, I think I did like a month or two before he was murdered. So like if you pay attention to the year and stuff and the like time of, you know, the month, I don't think I said a month. I think I described like whether it was winter or fall or something. But it's right before he's murdered. So it's like, you know, it's a story about having a good night, but the silver lining of it is in a month or so, he's gonna be killed. And this is like probably the last time he will perform live. And then the guy who knows Malcolm X, you know, he's gonna get killed a year later from now. So it's like, you know, these events that happen after this, it's kind of like, you know, how they're gonna react to this, but they don't know what's gonna happen. You do, but they don't. So to them, this is a good night. We drinking, we enjoying, you know, friends. But as the reader and the viewer, you like, man, I already know what's gonna happen. So it's kind of like it's like a tragedy, love, you know, fun thing. So that's one of my pride and joy. So I'm working on getting that back out and adding it to another story and try to turn it into like a little screenplay. So, you know, here at the Square Round Table, y'all are the first to ever hear me say this. That is the project that I'm working on. I haven't started writing yet, but that is the steps I'm taking. So that'll be something I'm holding near and dear to me. So that's my announcement, you know, to the world.
Hey, put it out there, man. Let them know.
Exclusive.
I know I went on forever, but I get it.
No, you good, man.
No. I was liking the whole thing. I was visioning that stuff. I was like,
no,
man,
that's dope.
that's a plot right here.
That's how we directors, writers, when we start talking about our stuff, we just get passionate. So, you know.
Hey, that passion's real, man.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. That's all good stuff. I wanted to ask you though, Marcus, because I thought it was pretty interesting when I think it was like I can't remember if it was an interview or if it was an excerpt that I read from a magazine with Jordan Peele, and he was just talking about like as a director what he wants for his protagonists in his movies. And he was saying that a lot of his horror films, he can't really see him casting anybody other than like African-American protagonists because these stories, you know, haven't been told and they need to be told. And that's so true from a horror perspective. You know, every time we watch it, the black guy's the first guy to die. Yep. You know, so to see a horror movie play out when you have a black protagonist and he's like, you know, the person that survives at the end, you know, or the person that the story is about, you know, besides like Candyman and stuff like that, which was, you know, really before his time, but other things like that, you know, that's really needed in cinema. So I just wanted to know for you, is that something that you thought about that like going forward when you would cast people in your movies, would you want to tell relatively more black stories?
Yeah, because I feel like, especially in film, a lot of our stories are not told from our perspective. It's told from what other people gain from, you know, books, media, and it's either people who haven't lived through that or they don't have a full understanding. And just like what you said with Jordan Peele, you know, with horror, you always get the final girl who's a white female, and she always has to be categorized as, you know, like masculine, and she has like a unisex name. You know, she might always have like short hair, or, you know, she not, you know, fully developed, you know, or she wears like boy clothes or something, and she's always the one to make it out in the end, you know, because that's how that's the only way she can identify with the view, which is most of the time males. So when you factor in, you know, the guys like you said who always get killed off first, it's like, okay, finally we get to see how we, you know, can survive this, you know, catastrophe or whatever is finna happen. So for me, it's like just going back to my story. It's like I want to tell this story about, you know, people who are like me and you, but they live back in that time. And you don't get to see those stories because most of the time it's always the more, you know, like I try not to say political side, but it's more like, you know, they always show the civil rights movement, something that has to do, you know, with Dr. King, you know, Malcolm X or Rosa Parks or the Freedom Riders or sit-ins at the kitchen. It's always like, you know, it's like a history lesson. I'm like, you know, everybody's tired of seeing those history lessons. Let's just give them a good, you know, feel-good story about, you know, people having a good time. And I do think, you know, they should push for more Black characters as protagonists, not just because I'm Black and that's what I want to see, but because, you know, it's time for us to tell our stories, and, you know, for us, you know, to be on those screens. Like a lot of people try to knock Tyler Perry for his movies and say, you know, they're all the same and it's painting a negative image of Black people and stereotypes and all this, but why should you say that? He took a chance that nobody else is going to take. He's telling stories about what he went through and his experience, you know, from his family and his friends, and he's telling that story. So you can't just say that's for the whole, you know, of Black people. That's him telling his story. And I might not love all his films, but I definitely take my hat off to him because he's doing that. He's telling those stories from his point of view, and that's what it's about. It's from your point of view or whoever's point of view of that. That's not even with Black. That's with, you know, Asians, like Crazy Rich Asians. You have movies like that. You know, Slumdog Millionaire. You know, you get those type of movies where you can see the perspective from those people, because most of the people working on those movies of that, you know, ethnicity. So you're gonna get a more authentic story than you would with a big Hollywood production where they feel like, okay, if we want to make this movie Black, let's go get the biggest Black director out there and stamp his or her name on it, and that way it'll feel more Black. You know, you don't have to do that. Just let it be a person who's gonna tell a good story, pick good characters, and, you know, just let it play out. So that's my view, and maybe that's why I haven't got in Hollywood yet. But hey, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I just supposed to do my own thing. But yeah, I definitely, if that's the answer to your question, Chad, yeah, that's how.
That was a really good answer. I definitely I like that answer. That's good. I agree with it too. Like I really do.
Oh yeah. But
100%.
But another thing, guys, yeah, y'all, what do y'all think about not being of a particular ethnicity and still trying to tell a story from your perspective? Like say if someone tries to make a story about Hispanic people, but they might be African American.
Well, just look at it this way. Brian Michael Bendis isn't a Black guy, but, you know, Miles Morales, you know what I'm saying? So,
or even if we want to go even further, like Black Panther, like that guy wasn't made by like a Black guy. It was made by like a white guy. So like, it is what it is. Like, you know, it just depends on like if they're able to tell the story in a way that's not disrespectful, like a way of being respectful of it, even if that means like you know, going to those certain cultures and kind of like, you know, doing that research, you know, to make sure that you're representing those people, you know, in the right light.
Yeah,
sure. And go ahead, Marcus.
I was just gonna say, and it's funny because it makes when we talk about that, it makes me just go back to like Spike Lee when they were finna make Malcolm X. It was by Warner Brothers, and they had already had who they wanted to direct it, and it was I forget his name, but it was a white guy who was gonna direct it. And Spike Lee was like, "Nah, man, like I feel like I should tell that story. And he pushed to get it. And the guy who was doing it was like, you know what? I think he should do it because I don't think I'm the right person to, to tell this story. And just like y'all are saying, it all just comes down to a respect of, that culture or, what's going on. Because just like if I want to make a movie about a group of Hispanic kids or Latino kids and they live in the Black community for the first time, I'm going to go and, try to not even just live with, but just interview people and just ask them, what was that experience like for you coming to America and living in a community where you see a certain race being treated a certain way and you have to adapt to that, or maybe you get treated the same way, It's just all about, how you do your research. And like you said, the main thing, the respect for the culture. And that's a big thing with comic books. You see these guys who create these characters, most of who, are not that ethnicity, but they create these characters and, it's to reach out, to those certain, kids who look at these stories like us and we don't see, a guy that looks like us or that acts like us or have the same problems as us, so I don't want to get too off subject, but yeah, that's what I was saying.
No, keep it going, dude.
Yeah, it's just like I always say this to Chad, and I know Dimitri's heard me say this, but I always feel like an untold story is Milestone Comics. Like that's a story that everybody should know, especially if you a black, a black kid, adult, it doesn't matter. If you love comic books, you should know about Milestone because they really changed the demographic for comic books. Like they were some of the first people to actually take that chance of having an all black lineup, not being afraid to address real issues, like teen pregnancy, drugs, gangs, stuff like that. And, they addressed it in all of their stories. Like their version of Superman, he was an alien that came to Earth and decided to take on the persona of a slave when he could have took any kind of persona and lived that life and then become a superhero. So it's like, when you have stories like that, it's like, man, I've never seen that before because everybody's so scared to address certain things and, make certain things. So shout out to Milestone Comics.
Yeah, definitely.
Rest in peace, Dwayne McDuffie, one of the great writers of Milestone. But those guys are to me some of the most important people in not just comic book history but Black history because they started their own comic book line and partnered with DC. So a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people just think, oh, they were a part of DC and DC put out the characters, but no, they partnered with them because they had their own.
Right.
So
yeah. And I'm glad that they're bringing it back. Like that's the one thing I'm so happy about. Like DC fandom was I'm glad they're bringing that line back in February. I'm like, it's like the one thing I'm looking forward to is that.
Definitely.
I got a question for you guys.
Okay.
As far as just growing up watching any cartoons, anime, stuff like that. The Saturday morning cartoons. Did you feel like it was something always missing from the lineup that you wanted to see, but it was just I'm okay with it because I'm a kid and I don't understand, but it's something missing there?
Yeah, I feel like as a kid, I guess I didn't really necessarily focus on it enough. I was just like, man, these are good, stories and whatever. But as I got older, I was like, okay, yeah, there's definitely something that is definitely missing. But I think as kids, we just kind of are excited that are flashing lights on the screen and monsters getting blown up over here. The Power Rangers are just suiting up friendship or whatever, just beating down a beast, monsters a week. Megazord here, Megazord there, villain here. We weren't really thinking about it like that. I think the funniest thing is I think an interesting thing is the original Power Rangers had a diverse cast. They had Asian, a black guy. They had all these different, people in there. And it was a cool cast. And everybody remembers that lineup. There's been other iterations in that, the original series, but that's what everybody remembers.
That's the one.
Is that they had, these different people there, and they weren't afraid to like have well, I think it might have been a little on the nose, but they had them doing like hip hop martial arts or whatever. They had that doing hip hop martial arts and stuff. And
Hey,
I'm like,
I thought it was the coolest thing.
I thought it was cool too. Yeah, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really cool. But no, I think as we get older, we kind of like either it's like through like, like I guess like our parents, or like maybe it's like somewhere outside force that we kind of like start realizing these things. But as a kid, I don't think I really like I thought about it like that.
Yeah. You just kind of glance over it. It's just like, okay,
Yeah.
next thing that's on, I'm watching it, and then that's
Right.
it.
It was like most thing was like, is this a good show? Am I entertained? If I'm not entertained, I'm flipping the channel. Like it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, it just I can kind of agree with you on that one, Marcus. Like it's I definitely felt like there was something missing for me, and I talk about it all the time because when I was younger, especially like on Saturday mornings and all that kind of stuff, I was a huge like Bill Nye fan, huge Bill Nye fan. I love Dexter's Lab and stuff like that. And I was just truly interested like in that career. Like it made me want to just like I thought science was so cool. Like I really did. Like it was just like I was like obsessed with Bruce Banner. Like Joshua, you remember remember when mom and dad painted the room green and purple? I had this like ridiculous like Hulk obsession forever. But yeah, and even when I was a little kid, my first career day, I begged my parents to buy me a lab coat and a microscope and all that kind of stuff. So it was just like, but the funny thing was, like, I thought that being a scientist was like really like kind of like a fairy tale because I looked at them as superheroes. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh man. And whenever I pictured it, I thought of a guy that looked like Bruce Banner. You know what I'm saying? I thought of, Bill Nye. I thought of these guys that, they didn't look like me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see myself reflected in these, people and characters and all that kind of stuff. So for the longest time, literally until I got to be a grown man, I just didn't, subconsciously, I didn't think that career was something that was possible, for me, just because I didn't see it. So, that was definitely something missing for me. I wish that, and I like that how they're doing that now with a lot of characters. And even though some of them, like Dmitri talks about a lot of times, are really just like characters that are flipped and turned, like that were already one race and now they're another. Like you got your Miles Morales, which is really a good example, but then you got like your Ironheart, Riri.
Williams. Let's talk about her.
But even though some of those might not be that great, I still wish that when I was a kid, you had all that. Yeah. I wish that representation was there, and then I know I could have like it. I don't want to say things would have been too much more different from me because I still kind of got there. But at the end of the day, I still wish when I was a kid I had that, person to look up to that was a black guy that looked like me. That would have been really cool.
Yeah, definitely. But
as far for me growing up, it was really nothing missing because I got a lot of my representation from like Family Guy and the Boondocks because I watched a whole lot of Adult Swim.
He's the youngest.
He's the youngest one here.
You can tell.
Yeah, he didn't watch them Saturday morning cartoons.
We would
on
definitely
TV. He was like, he never had that thrill of like running to the TV, like, oh man, I gotta catch it at the beginning or I'm gonna miss it. It was just like, it was like, man, I'm gonna stream it on Netflix.
I was just a really simple kid, as far as superheroes are concerned, Spawn was enough. Like Spawn was black, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. You got one black superhero, so we exist. Oh well, moving on. But I wasn't really tripping on like how man, there's only one. Where are the rest? No, I wasn't tripping on that. I was just like, okay, we got Spawn. Now back to Transformers. So like
That's
basically,
Yeah.
like my Saturday cartoons were Transformers for the most part, and
Hey,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
don't sleep on Transformers and Yu-Gi-Oh. And my dude, what's his name? With the visible gun, Bandit
Right. You
Keith.
talking about?
Bandit Keith, is that his name?
Yeah.
Talk about I got you, Pegasus.
yeah.
I'm like, bro, why did you center his gun out like that? Like,
And
that
I'll
was
be
the
honest,
weirdest thing.
Demetrius, that was like the only time that I really watched. Like, I was so heavy on One Piece, like back when it came on.
Oh,
Saturday
really?
morning.
You were heavy on
That's,
it?
that's back when I really used to ask, like
Yeah.
Joshua, bro. Then we
Really?
stayed watching One Piece, bro. And then
Man,
it's
now
like,
No,
you-
we
now
did.
you-
Like every time we come home from football practice, we turn on One Piece before we get it
Yup.
before I got in the
Okay.
show.
All right. So you guys are
Yeah, we used to
dedicated
watch
fans.
it all the time, actually. Yeah.
You
yeah,
guys are
back in the
dedicated fans,
early,
man.
back in the early One Piece days, yeah, we used to
The
watch
four
it like
kids
that.
days, the four kids
four-
days, the four
the
kids
four
dub
kids
days.
days.
Man, yeah.
Oh
like,
man, let's
Man,
not
we
talk
used to-
about the fact that they put my man Sanji with a lollipop, but had the little thing still lit.
Yeah, and that's funny, and that's hilarious because
Yeah.
I had such a problem with that because like when I got back to watching it when I got older, I was like, I thought he thought it was a lollipop. I didn't realize that was like a cigarette for real. I had no idea. Like so,
I kind of always
Hey,
thought
I
it was.
always thought it was a lollipop too. And
Right.
I always had
thought it
questions
was.
about it. I was like, why is it smoking? Like I was like, that doesn't make sense. But all right, it's anime, so like,
right, but nah, man. Like, and can we talk about how like that era is just over with? Like Saturday morning cartoons isn't a thing anymore.
yeah,
Oh,
and it's
it's
just always
not
just streaming
really.
now.
It's so depressing, bro, because it's nothing like, I think I wrote a poem about it for my creative writing class. Like, it's nothing like waking up in the morning, getting you a bowl of cereal, Pop Tarts, whatever your go-to is that morning, sitting down, and from what is it, like 10 o'clock to like 1 or something, you get
Yes,
nothing
bro.
like cartoons, and then after that, you can switch over to Cartoon Network, and they got a whole lineup that
Yes.
Saturday. Like the whole Saturday was lit, and it's just like
It was lit.
that's how I
Yeah.
taught myself how to draw from watching Saturday morning cartoons. Like I didn't know how to draw.
Yeah.
Ninja
I-
Turtles,
Hey, Chad,
I
bro,
used
you-
to sit there and listen. This was me the whole time. I'm looking up, looking down.
Yes,
Yeah.
bro. Hey,
My
Yeah.
brother
Chad, bro, you
still like
remember
this,
when I
smiling at the TV? I'm over there like this.
I'm
like,
telling you, bro.
I can't
For
that.
real.
So it's just like you said, Demetrius. Like the times are so different now. Like everything is accessible to like streaming platforms. You can go on YouTube and find stuff. But like
It
for
kind of
us,
lost the magic. It lost the
Yeah.
magic. bro.
It was a beautiful thing,
Yeah.
man.
People
Waking up
don't-
at 5 in the morning and like watching Digimon, like that was the hype.
people don't understand. For you kids that were born probably, I'll say after 95. I give 95 the latest.
Yeah, I'll give 95 that.
People don't understand. When we were kids, the internet sucked because it was slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about dial up.
if your mom got on the phone while you was looking for something, it crashed the whole internet.
Yes.
You had to buy
Yes.
software to update the computer to work on
Yes.
Windows or whatever. So it's like, you was like, man, I'm not finna put myself through that. So you was just like, okay, I'm gonna get my TV guide. I'm gonna change to the TV guide channel and see what's coming on today. Or I'm just gonna wing it and just watch Cartoon Network all day and see what's up. And you know,
Basically.
Channel 3 though, like when you went to like channel
yeah,
turn on Channel 3 and it was just a slew of cartoons, it's just random stuff.
and
Godzilla, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jackie Chan's Adventure,
Yeah.
Bro,
Pokemon,
I'm
Yeah.
you know.
telling you.
Come on, we had it. We had the
Telling you.
lineup,
Like-
man.
like Pat was
real.
saying, it loses the magic because back then it's like one day you'll be watching and boom, here comes this new like show, and it's like, oh man, what is this? And it's either a hit or miss. Like for me, when Static Shock first premiered,
Yeah.
I knew nothing about it. I didn't know nothing about Milestone Comics or anything because, like
Me
I said,
neither.
we were kids. So, like, it's funny hearing Josh say what he said about, how it was for him because it was already laid. The bricks were laid and all that stuff was out there. But for us, it was like, wow, what is this? I've never heard of this. At this point, all I knew about was Black Panther, and I seen him in one cartoon, and that was like Fantastic Four when he owned them. Let's put that in there. How he owned them, but that's
Yeah,
a,
he did.
that's another conversation. But it's just like, you know, you see Static Shock, and you're like, wow, a teenage superhero who's like me, and he's smart. He's not somebody who, you know, who doesn't know how to speak, or he's not doing good in school, or he shies away from being a nerd. Like, he embraces these things that I try to, you know, that I'm trying to figure out myself how to embrace. So when you see a show like that, it's just like, wow, bro, where has this been all this time? And like now, it's just like everything is all laid out for you, and you know this is coming at this time of the month, or next year you getting this show, and nothing's really a secret anymore.
Nothing's a secret.
And like you can always catch something later on. You can, you know, there's not that rush to go to catch it like right when it premieres. Like back in the day, like if you didn't catch Saturday morning night cartoons, you were just out of the loop.
You just didn't watch it.
Yeah, you were just out of the loop, man. Like you would, the next week would be a whole different thing. You're like, okay, what's going on here? And you would.
That's like Dragon Ball Z. If you didn't catch that episode of Dragon Ball Z, going to school, it was pure hell because everybody was talking about it.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. Like Sonic X was the worst thing because they made a new episode every week. Bro.
Yes, bro.
I can never get caught up with that show.
Shaolin Showdown was the same way.
Oh, Shaolin Showdown was my stuff. I love that show.
Could never get caught up.
I was caught up. I was on it. That show, I was on that.
And speaking of streaming like platforms now, how do you guys feel about them going on this heavy like nostalgia ride now? For example, they're bringing back the Animaniacs. You know, shows like that as kids we watched. And we enjoyed them because, you know, it was raw, it was, you know, different. They were taking chances and it was new. But
great question.
Do you feel like it's more of a cash in now because we're adults and they know we're going to probably go back to it for the nostalgia? Or are y'all just kind of like oversaturated with all the nostalgia they're pumping out at us? Even like in shows like, you know, Stranger Things, or just any show that pushes heavy off of like nostalgia now. Like, how do y'all feel about them bringing that stuff back and, you know, just pumping it back into us as adults?
Mixed emotion about it. Like, I like it because, like, you know, I love those things as kids, so like I'm obviously gonna watch it, but at the same time I know it's a cash grab. Like, I just know it is. Like, I know they're doing it to play on my nostalgic of, like, you know, back in the day when I was a kid, I was like, oh, I love this thing, and now that they're bringing it back and giving it the story, now I'm gonna watch it because like I knew it when I was a kid, and I'm already attached to it, and I have a love for it. And I feel like that's the same thing like with like, if for example, to go off of a tangent, like Star Wars, like that series right there had completely finished. I saw the prequels, and then they literally had what was it, Last Jedi? Not Last Jedi. Was it Last Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. I'm confusing my movies right now. Okay, but Rise of Skywalker, and that was just a nostalgic trip of everything that Star Wars had, and I loved it. But at the same time, I after that movie, it made me not want to go back to it because I was like, okay, I know I've seen it all. There's no more of it. So it's like, I don't know. I kind of rambled, but like it's like a mixture of like, it's like a mixture of like love hate, you know.
Yeah. It's. I mean, you know, it's kind of like, for me, I liken it to seeing a magic trick after they already explained to you how it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit. It's just like, no, for real, because it's just like, okay, the first time I watched Animaniacs, my mind was blown. I was like, dude, what is this? Like, what am I looking at right now? And then it's like my brain as a child, you know, that just got off of watching something really simple, like, I don't know, the Wiggles or something, whatever I was watching back then. But to go to something that was as cutting edge as Animaniacs, which was making jokes that now I understand what they were saying, but back then I was just like,
how did they get away with it?
What am
like
I looking
fingerprints?
at?
Like fingerprints? That fingerprints joke?
Exactly, but it's just like now it's just like, it's just like, hey, you know, remember this? We're gonna do it again. And it's just like, it's like, no, it's tainted now. It's tainted.
Exactly.
Like,
what are you saying, Chad?
No. I'm gonna let you go ahead, Josh. But all I was saying is just that it's tainted, man. It's just like when they tried to bring back Kingdom Hearts after 100 years. It's just like
Oh yeah,
it's
let it
like
die. Let it
it's just
die.
like
Yeah.
it when it was pure, you know what I'm saying? You should have kept it coming, but now it's just like, oh yeah, let's make some money off of these 30-year-olds that, because it's not for the kids now. Kids now, let me explain something. Let me just
Break it
I'm
down.
gonna get on my soapbox for a minute here, because kids nowadays, they don't care about cartoons.
They don't. Have
They
you
don't
seen
care
Cartoon
about
Network? Have you
kids
seen it?
today. Yeah, I've seen it. So all of that stuff that's coming out right now, like the new Toy Story movies, the Animaniacs, all the old stuff that they're bringing back, or even Milestone Comics with Static Shock, they know what they're doing. That's for us. That's for the 30-year-olds. All of that is a nostalgia cash grab. And they know that we're going to pay for it again, because that's what we liked when we were kids. But like I said, now it's tainted, because you already showed me how the trick works. You're like, okay, yeah, but do you want to see it again? And this time we're going to put some extra stuff on it. No,
Right, like I hate when they modernize it. Like they modernize it and they put like smartphones in it. Like a great example. Like why does Sora have a smartphone in Kingdom Hearts 3?
right.
Yeah, it's modernized, man. We gotta make it for the
Like
kids,
that's
man.
crazy, bro. Like if they did bring back like the Animaniacs now, all of them are gonna have like iPhones.
No, they
Yeah.
are. They are bringing them back.
In the trailer, they literally all have like smartphones and they talk about like social media, bro. So I'm like,
That's
I'm good.
crazy.
I got the.
Yo.
I don't want to watch it, bro. And see, my thing is, the only time it works for me when they bring back a show, if it was a show that was canceled and it stopped at a point where it was getting good, like Samurai Jack.
Yes, I was gonna say that example. That's a great example.
And out of nowhere, it just stopped, and we was like, okay, so they're never gonna tell us how it ended. And then when they brought it back and made it for us, as far as putting it on Adult Swim, which it should have always been on anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what kind of feel it was. I was like, okay, that's great, because now we get to see, his story finished. When they do it like that, I'm fine with it. But like you guys said, when it's just bringing it back, like, let's take the Warner Brothers and the sister, dump them in 2020, and they probably gonna make some like whack COVID joke or something.
You know it.
Already.
I can already hear Rob Paulson saying something about COVID. I can hear it in my head right now.
Like if they bring Ren and Stimpy back, like you're not gonna want to watch that now, because it came out for the time it was, because especially back then you could get away with more and say more and people not be so sensitive about it. But now everybody's sensitive about what you say and what you do, so you can't do things now.
Yeah,
and that's what it is about a lot of this stuff they're bringing back. It's like we don't have a need for it anymore. If I want to watch Animaniacs, I just go on one of my streaming things or YouTube
and watch it on the old LG.
Yeah, because it's just like, because the cultural impact isn't going to be the same, because I'll put it to you this way: everything, and here's why stuff like that doesn't work right now, because everything is so accessible. Like if you want to know, what's going on, just go ahead and watch like SNL or something, because somebody's going to have some kind of like how do you put it? What's that word I'm looking for? Satire, exactly. Everybody's going to have the Tonight Show, watch anything, cooking show. Everybody does satire now. Back in the day, like back then, cartoons, satire, wasn't nobody doing it like that. And then when Animaniacs came around, it was just like, whoa, like, are you serious? Like a children's show, like having satire, talking about actual people that actually exist. You know what I'm saying? That, it's like everything's doing, like you talking about Family Guy, Josh. Well, Family Guy does it. American Dad does it. Rick and Morty does it. You know what I'm saying? Boondocks. So it's like, it's not a brand new thing anymore. Like I said, it's that magic trick. Everybody's doing it now. So it's just like, well, now bring back dust off the Animaniacs. No, they're not culturally relevant anymore. They're not like they used to be. So it's just not gonna have the same effect. It's just not.
Okay, I got a question. What do you guys think about like if they bring back a show, but they like switch up the animation like for current era? Like, you know, like they'll like take like, let's say for instance that I can think about from Cartoon Network, they took like what was it? Well, two. They took Ben 10 and they made it for this current era, and it like looks really like they childed it down, and then they did like that with like
Teen Titans.
Teen Titans, yeah, that's a good example. How do you feel about like that kind of that kind of, is that a downgrade, or are you okay without that? Like, is it like offensive or not offensive, but like do you feel like kind of like betrayed? You know,
I mean, you have to take it now. You have to take it with a grain of salt, because just like with Teen Titans, that's a perfect example. A great show because it had elements of anime, you know, comic book. The art style was anime. Like that show was like heavily anime. Like as far as art style,
yeah,
it's the way the characters did. Like when they had big faces and the eyes and stuff, just little stuff like that. So you know the art style of it. You know, we grew to love that because it appealed to all of the things we like. And then, you know, you bring it, you hear the word, we bring it back, you automatically think, okay, they're going to finish the season. And then you turn on the TV and it's like they're making a mockery or something. Because that show was very serious. It wasn't like a campy, like kid show that talked about, we're going to save the day. Like they had some real stuff in there sometimes. And then Teen Titans Go, it's funny sometimes, but it's like, man, like, why did you have to, you know, kind of do that and bring this weird looking animation style and make these characters who were serious campy? And it's okay for the kids now because, like Chad says, they don't care.
They don't care.
If it's funny or they like how it looks, it's like my niece. She'll sit down in front of the TV and I can turn anything with cartoons on and she'll just about watch it because she doesn't care. It's just, it looks cool or it's funny or she can, you know, she can repeat what it says. So it doesn't matter now. And that just goes back to us. It's like you have these creators now who are like, well, I want to bring this stuff back, you know, and finish it off. But, you know, we have to do this or we have to go through that. And it's just, it's the way the business is now and how they're trying to sell. And that's another thing. A lot of people don't know with these cartoons, a lot of reason why these shows are canceled or they don't last long or you don't see them anymore is for one of the most stupidest reasons. And it's the sales on like merchandise as far as like toys, t-shirts, you know.
I was just about to say that's a great point. Yeah.
Like that's why Young Justice was canceled because of the toy sales and the I think it was like little girls wasn't watching it or something like that. So the views were down. And that's another show where they brought it back and finished the season, and it's, you know, it did great. Like I just started on the third season and it's amazing. So
pretty good.
You know, it's just like like I said, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, man, because either you know it's gonna be some letdowns, and then you know you're gonna get some gems in there sometimes. So
yeah.
Oh, you was gonna say?
Oh, I was just saying. Oh, I kind of like remember because I remember the big buzz about it when it first like Teen Titans Go. They were promoting it really heavy. And I think it was me and I think it was my brother or somebody. We sat and we watched it, and we just felt like this just wasn't for us. And we're like, why is it like this? And why are they saying this? And why are they not like fighting Slade? Like, where's Slade at? You know, I was like, where are the things that I know? And like, and I was just like, you know, and I have like, being that I work with kids, like they watch Teen Titans Go all the time, and they love it. And I'm like, well, it's not for me, but like. You know, it once was for me, but now it's not. Like, I just got to be okay with that.
Exactly. It was, I mean, pretty much. Like, it was cool for about a season.
Yeah, literally, right.
Really? Like,
I mean, but it progressively got dumber. It progressively
it just got stupid. It was like no reason.
Yeah.
And the funny part is, I could really, like, me and Josh will talk about it all the time. I can see when that change happened, because for the longest I really praised Cartoon Network because what they did was grow with their audience. Like as we got older, the content started getting more mature, and instead of talking down to us, they tried to bring something to the table that had continuity, like a lot of cartoons, really groundbreaking stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of cartoons that acted as like, you know, soap opera, or acted as like a, you know, a thrillers, or they didn't really have the wow, I'm losing the word. Damn, I can't think of that word. But either way, it's like they didn't really have the thing to where you have an episode and then some crazy. Well, yeah, the continuity, but you know, you have an episode and something happens, and then at the next episode, everything's back to normal. They didn't do that, and I feel like, yeah, and I feel like, you know, they had a meeting somewhere in there in the Uncle Grandpa era, and they were like, you know what, guys, none of this is selling.
That's exactly what happened. Oh my God, that's exactly what happened. Because there was Adventure Time, there was regular show, and then like Uncle Grandpa came out, and you were just like, this is where it is.
Yeah, and then they threw Uncle Grandpa in there. I was like, okay, I smell some bullshit. I'm like, all right, I'll go with it. I'll go with it. But and then it's just like, boom, Uncle Grandpa gone. Even though me and Joshua kind of liked it a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. But Adventure Time gone. Steven Universe gone. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends gone. Flapjack gone. I'm like, God, dog. And then they started saying, well, if you want to watch these shows, you can tune in to our website, but we're not gonna play it on the station. And I'm just like, and that's when they brought in Teen Titans Go, and now Cartoon Network is nothing but Teen Titans Go, and they bring in these little stupid shows that are only going to last for a season. Like they literally have a show now that's about a apple and a celery stick.
I saw that. I literally watched an episode of that with one of my kiddos, and like I was like, this is dumb.
I'm like, what the hell?
Now, I will say is one show that they have now that is a bright spot, and that's Craig of the Creek.
I thought I was gonna mention that. Yeah, Craig of the Creek.
That show reminds me of how we used to. It's about kids actually going outside to play and interact with other kids. Yeah. And it's funny to see a show like that now when everything is so technological, like based and all that. And even though they use like their phones and stuff in the show, they still go out and be kids and play. Yeah. Have those little like adventures, like when we used to go play in the woods. You know, you imagine that. You know, to see that, it brings you. Now that's the kind of nostalgia I like, where it brings me back. And then you can connect with the kids now and be like, hey, this is how we used to play outside. You know, so you know, you can still have your phones and stuff, but go play outside. So I love that show, and that's another good, you know, show of representation of a black family. You got his brother is smart. He's going to school. You know, his parents, they got decent jobs. I think his mom owns like a hair salon. Craig is a bright kid. His sister is a little smart ass, but I love her. You know, it's crazy that, you know, people will say, well, you a grown ass man and you watching a cartoon about a kid. I mean, I once was a child, like, and that's like, you were a child at a time, like, that doesn't make you feel good that you can see something that reminds you of your childhood. Like, everything ain't gotta be so like super serious that you watch. So,
but here's my thing to that, bro. Here's my thing to that. You know, people want to talk about that, and they're like, "Oh, you watch, you know, Craig of the Creek," or "Oh, what is this anime?" But it's like, bro, like, what do you watch? Like, Divorce Court
and Scandal and
Judge Judy.
Like, that stuff is depressing and dark.
It's depressing. It's like, bro, please, like, get out of here, man. Like, but what I will say is that there has to be a black person writing that script, because that Craig of the Creek Thanksgiving episode was way too accurate.
That episode was amazing.
That episode was the most accurate.
When he goes to his grandpa's house with the cicadas and the deer coming and eating the stuff, and they had the most recent one where his mom dressed up as Missy for Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, bro, like, how can you not? Because it's funny, because me and my brother said, we was like, bro, this show is probably not gonna last, but it's probably gonna be like 10 episodes, and they're gonna just like drop it. And the fact that it's still going, I was like, bro, that is amazing. Cause I never thought a show like that would last that long now, and that just shows you something. People like original, just good quality shows where it's just about fun, and it's not too serious, it's not too campy and comedic. It's just a good show. That's really a family show that everybody can watch together. So
Yeah,
true.
if y'all you was out there, if y'all watching, if y'all never seen it, you know, sit down with your kids, your nieces, nephews, mother, father, grandma, and just watch Craig and the Creek, man, and just have a good time. It's a good show.
Just take a load off, man. Don't be too serious, man.
Yeah.
Chill.
Especially at these times. This is like the best time to watch it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you can't go nowhere, so you might as well.
Right. What a better time, you know, to sit back and watch some good old cartoons. But yeah, guys. So talking about Black representation in cartoons and in media, you all knew I was gonna say it. So what do y'all think about the costumes in Spider-Man?
If you didn't say it, I was gonna talk about it. Let's talk about my man his homemade suit. Why, man? Why is he wearing them Timbs?
I don't even know why you brought this up, Chad.
Secondly, why is his spider like that, man?
So look, Chad, because you asked this question, we're gonna let you go first. You are very
yeah.
Subject, and I love
You're very passionate.
It makes me laugh so hard.
You're passionate, man. Give us feel.
Like for y'all out there who don't know Chad, when it comes to Miles Morales, like he's the biggest advocate on like how they treat him as a character. So like, he really like goes in when like he sees something wrong, and when I show off, like none of them knew how any of the costumes look except for a couple. And I
knew about them, yeah.
I said, hey guys, they got him in Tim's, and Chad and Josh was like, no, you joking. I was like, I'm so serious. And when I sent it to them, Chad was like, no. So Chad,
Chad, go away. It's all you.
You know, guys, all I want to say is just that because I love Miles, man. Miles is my dude. Because number one, I've always been a huge Spider-Man fan. Always been a huge fan. So I was just like, you know, once they said that, oh, we got a Black Spider-Man, I was completely sold. You know, it's just like, but treat him like you treat the other characters. I'm just like, yo, just because this dude is Black, man, I get it. You know, he's from New York, you know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's cold outside. So, you know, he's got the jacket with the fur on it. You know, he's rocking some Timbs. But why in the world is he going to have Timbs in a Spider-Man outfit? Spider-Man outfit with Timbs, y'all? Like, that doesn't even look comfortable to run around in.
No.
I'm like, bro, so you get this man Timbs, and then he has another outfit with a bomber jacket. I'm just like, bro, would you see Peter Parker wearing that? Y'all would laugh if y'all saw Peter Parker in some Timbs and a bomber jacket. I'm just like
I said, with a polo and some Sperry's on.
With a polo and some Sperry's on. My thing is like, I'm like, bro, what y'all gonna do next? Get my boy a chain? You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
get him a do-rag.
Like, you know what? Let's just have Miles Morales in a Spider-Man wife beater and some Timbs with a chain, and let's not even have a Spider-Man emblem. Just put like some fried chicken on his back and call it a day. You know, I'm just like.
You know what it reminds me of? Have y'all ever seen? I think it was like a Deadpool like comic or like cover, and he was like Ali G, whatever that character Sasha Baron.
Oh yeah. And
he had like the chain with the like big coat and the I think it was Tim's or something he had on. I was like, bruh, that's exactly
what Miles looking like.
Like
that's what Miles looking
like. Like you said, Chad, we get it. He's Black, but he's not just Black. He's Latino and Black. So it's like, you don't have to oversaturate him with like this stuff to connect us. We all get it. he's a black superhero.
Look,
Don't
look.
you have to give him Tim's, man? Like
We can see. We have eyes. We can see colors.
And another thing I like to say is it's almost like the next thing they're gonna do is just cut the top part off of his cut the top part off of his mask so you can see his waves.
So you can see his waves.
Right.
Exactly.
Waves.
Talk about wave check.
Like that.
Because I'll be honest.
He can be brushing his hair while he's swinging.
Exactly. But the thing with me, y'all, is like I liked in Spider-Verse, like the costume he had with that. I'm like, cool, it was nice, it was urban, he had Jordans on with but I'm like, dude, well, how come every time we see this guy now, it's a running trend? And even in the video game they did it, they just switched it. Instead of wearing Jordans, now he's wearing some Adidas. It's like, come on, y'all. I don't want to keep seeing Miles Morales in a hoodie and some shorts. It's like, dude, just give him a Spider-Man outfit. He has a nice Spider-Man outfit. You know what I'm saying? Let him rock the fit and call it a day. Like, he ain't gotta wear sneakers every time.
Let's be practical, you know? Let's be practical here. Like, it's not practical to be, wearing Tim's swinging around New York City. Like, you're not going to be able to crawl on walls with the Timbs on there. You're going to be sitting there trying to crawl, and you're going to be sliding.
I can't even run in no Timbs, bro. So I don't know how you would swing around in New York City with some Timbs on. Like, as soon as he land on a window, he going straight through there.
He's going right. Exactly, right.
Exactly. Let's not harp on the fact that he's black so much, It's like he's Spider-Man.
Exactly. Thank you, Josh.
At the end of the day, we can obviously see he's black or Afro-Latino. We obviously can see that. You don't need to be like, well, how can we sell him? Sell his blackness. How can we sell that? Oh, Tim's. That's not enough. Let's give him a bomber jacket. Let's go another thing. Let's really give him that do-rag kind of look, or
right, like he has a. I mean. And I get it, guys. I understand, you want to have that kind of representation, but you said it best, Marcus. It's just like in a video game, I want to kind of escape from the BS that I got to go through every day. Yeah. So why should you have it foghorned in a video game that, like I saw some people online making comments about that. They're like, oh, wow, there are people on the game wearing face masks and they have Black Lives Matters, and even Miles has doesn't he have like a unlockable Black Lives Matter fit?
It's
Uptown Pride.
Uptown Pride. Thank you. Uptown Pride.
I'm just like, I understand. If you wanted to have a wink to that, because I'm not insensitive, I'm not at all. But like, my biggest thing is let's not make it a profitable selling point that he's black and that black people are going through something right now. Let's not try to monetize that, guys. We understand that Miles Morales is a black character. He's a Afro-Latino male. I understand that, and I respect him as a character. I respect him as much as I respect Peter Parker. It's like, so let's give him that same respect. He doesn't need all of these extra accessories because he's a black guy and black guys have swag. Like, no, like just he's a superhero, man. Like he don't need
costume.
What is Miles going around with some head muffs and a scarf?
Leg warmers.
And the leg warmers, yeah.
And leg warmers.
Man needs leg warmers, guys?
Like,
really?
I don't. Now I've seen in the comic books Spider-Man with like a scarf on or a Scully or something because it might get too cold and he might not have the right suit on that day or something.
Yeah.
With the leg warmers and the
leg warmers.
Like, what he need earmuffs for? He has a mask on. Like,
so can we talk about the end costume? Can we talk about the end costume? That one. Like that, the end where he's in that like camo,
in the comic
and that,
book,
yeah, when he's in that camo, and the what do you think about that, Chad? Like that your favorite costume? You rocking that one when the game comes out?
Nah, man. I mean, that one's just like I respect that costume a little bit more than the what do you call it, the Tim's costume with the
homemade costume? Homemade costume?
Yeah, I respect that more than the home. I'll be honest, the costume the pseudo Peter Parker as costume that he has, where he kind of has the same color palette as Peter Parker. That one's actually been my favorite out of all of them so far. As far as like the ones that aren't Miles Morales specific colors, but no, man, I just think it's too much. You get this man baggy camo cargo. Oh, come on, guys! Like I just can't get down with that.
Hey, I guarantee you, when if and when he makes his debut in the MCU, I guarantee you he's gonna come onto the screen. I can see it right now how Marvel's gonna do it. It's gonna damn sure be like a pan up or a pan down shot. Like you gonna see the J's in this shot, and they're gonna pan up or either zoom out, or he gonna be like in the background. You're gonna see a black kid with like a fro and some J's on, and everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, that's Miles," because he has on the Jordans. So that's Miles Morales. Like,
I hate that you're right.
Yeah, I hate that. I'm laughing because you're right, man.
You're completely right. That's how we're gonna do it.
I'm just like, I mean, it's gonna be a good game regardless. You know,
Right.
It's gonna be good. I'm still gonna get it. You know, tomorrow when it comes out, I'm gonna try to get it.
I'm damn sure not putting him in no Tim's, bro. Like,
oh no, I'm probably gonna stick with that 2099 suit. You know, that got the vibe, but it's like one of the better suits out of all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a little quick shout out, happy birthday to Leonardo DiCaprio, one of the greats. The actor.
Oh yeah, HBD, man.
Well, his
definitely.
birthday was yesterday, but you know, I still want to say that happy birthday to Leo, who it took for him to get mauled by a bear in a movie to get a damn Oscar.
I was gonna say something about that.
Basically. I mean, and then like following up with roles like Wolf on Wall Street and The Great Gatsby, it's like, how do you not get like anything for those roles? But you got to get eaten by a bear to get some. I mean, it is what it is, but he's definitely a great actor that certainly is. I mean, if you look up the definition of like, you know, like underrated, like he's right there, because like people just don't see it, and I don't know why. Because he's amazing.
Yeah.
So
definitely, he's definitely one of the great.
Had to throw that little tidbit in there, you know.
Oh yeah. Of course.
DiCaprio fans out there and filmmakers, you know, shouts out.
Break up all that Spider-Man trash talk we were doing a couple days ago.
Speaking of like, you know, Spider-Man and video games and film, like, you know, just tell for the guys here, just tell everybody right now, you know, what you might be watching, or what video games you playing, what comic books you might be reading, or you know, what are you guys like in, you know, doing right now as far as like, especially with COVID, where we can't go to the movies and stuff, like as far as like shows you going back to watch, you know, just let our viewers know, you know, what we watching out here, what we doing in our spare time.
Okay. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah. Basically, when I'm not doing college work, because I go to, I go to college for what?
I need that college kid, guys.
College kid, whatever. But yeah, so when I'm not doing that, and I go to college for software engineering, and I graduated at Atlanta Tech for avionics. So
nice.
Yeah, you know, so I just I was gonna get my bachelor's in software engineering. So when I'm not doing that stuff, I've been trying to get back into Gundam, because I don't really watch the show that much. I played some of the games, so I've been trying to look at where I can legally watch the show.
Oh, he wants to legally watch it. Yeah. Crunchyroll, Funimation, they don't got it there.
Exactly. And you know, shout out to Overwatch, because I'm also playing a whole lot of that. So.
Oh yes.
Are you getting? Don't they have Overwatch 2 now? Or are you getting Overwatch 2? I think they're having.
Of course, but they haven't released. They haven't said when it's coming out. So of course, when it comes out, I'm definitely copping it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure, man. Like that's.
Yeah. So,
sure.
What about y'all?
Me. I'm obviously watching anime. You know, got to. I'm watching
for
right
it.
now. I'm watching Jujutsu Kaisen, which is a cult show. It's about a guy who ingests a demonic finger and becomes somewhat of like a, I guess it's in a way like a Naruto Kurama kind of situation where he has the demon in him and he can kind of use it and it kind of can take over him. But it's kind of interesting because it doesn't play into the same effect of like where Kurama's like, I don't like you at first. Like, I mean, it does, but it's like the guy tries to take advantage of him and then he like tries to wait for the moment that he like slips up and then he goes like crazy with his body and starts like doing like a lot of bad stuff or whatever. But it's a really good show. Obviously, I'm rewatching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yeah, we went back and rewatched that because that's a crazy route. Been reading manga. Been playing Ghost of Tsushima. I think it's called Legends, which is great.
Get on that too, Demetrius. I'm gonna get on it.
Oh yeah, you got to get up on it because we got to co-op.
Start playing it, yeah.
Yeah, we got to co-op. I'm definitely looking forward to obviously Miles Morales game when it comes out tomorrow. I'm hopefully trying to get that. When the new Mortal Kombat Ultimate thing comes out, I'm trying to grab that. You know, Rain all day. You know.
Oh yeah. Rain and Rambo.
Rain and Rambo. I haven't really watched any like new movies, but I did recently finish the Clone Wars theory. I'm currently watching Mandalorian.
Nice.
This is the way.
Yeah, this is the way. I'm waiting for what show comes out. Can't remember now. But I watched I think it's the Blood of Zeus. That show is amazing.
Oh, I saw that.
Really? I gotta get into that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, I recommend it. It's really good. Really good show. Is there anything else you think? Besides work? No. I think I've checked off all the boxes. Oh yeah, I'm good.
My boy.
Cool. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I was on a bit of an anime kick a little earlier, about like a month ago. I was watching I really got into The Promised Neverland, and I know the second season, isn't that about to come out pretty soon, Demetrius?
Yes, it is, and I'm hyped.
Yeah, so I'm definitely checking that out. That's been pretty cool. And as far as video games is concerned, I've been really, really addicted to Call of Duty Mobile. Like, I mean, dude, I've been playing.
I heard that's addictive. I heard
bro, it is a drug. I've been on Call of Duty addictive, like Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile, like I've been on every time I'm not doing anything. Like probably right after this, I'm playing Call of Duty Mobile.
It's just like I'm not even gonna cap, man. I'm gonna go play this game like right after this.
It's just in the rotation, bro. If I'm not like listening to another podcast besides ours or like, you know, watching anime or something, I'm pretty much or texting somebody. I'm pretty much playing Call of Duty Mobile. So
you don't be texting nobody. You don't text nobody.
You keep saying your phone dry, bro. You saying you're dry right now.
we ain't even gonna go there, but one show I really did want to talk about, like for all of our listeners and our viewers out there, and even you guys, because I don't think you've started watching it yet. There's this show, man. It's called The Good Lord Bird. Oh my god! Oh my god! That show.
I like how that's
man. It stars Ethan Hawke. And basically, he plays a abolitionist named John Brown.
That's a show? I thought that was a movie.
That is a show, and it is amazing.
I gotta watch that. I saw that,
bro.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I love Ethan Hawke too, man. I gotta watch that,
bro. When I tell you Ethan Hawke did that, me and my uncle, we had to have binged like 6 episodes. In one day. Ethan Hawke, like I said, he plays a abolitionist named John Brown, who was a real guy, and he was something else, man. His story is truly amazing. So definitely please go, all of our viewers, check that out. And just another one that I've been watching, it's a little less serious, but it's a pretty funny show. There's this show, it stars John C. Riley, and Tim Heidecker. It's called Moonbase 8. That crap is
I
fun.
want to see that. I've been looking at that. I've been wanting to see that.
Yeah, that crap is funny. I binge watched. Me and Josh binge watched a couple episodes. It's a pretty good show. So definitely, guys, check that out. That's pretty much what I've been doing. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
We've been
not the same for me. I've been, like I just said, I've watched Young Justice. I'm on the 3rd season now because I didn't get to see that. But I got done with Lovecraft. Great, that was a great show, by the way. Y'all check that out. Ooh, man,
amazing.
The writing and the writing, producing, directing, all of it. Sets, it's done so well, and they shot all of that here. So whoop whoop! Shout out to Atlanta,
right?
The whole team, to the whole team. So yeah, I watched that. I've been watching a lot of older movies. Just watching little stuff here and there. I had my Batman week one week, so I just bounce. I really bounce a lot. I'm like a TV show whore. I just bounce around. Video games, I'm playing. I got the Mafia Definitive Edition, and I played the first Mafia because I never played that. I've been playing that. I am a sports guy, so I've been playing a little bit of Madden, MLB.
Okay.
I'm finna get that Ghost.
You gotta get in that Ghost because we got a co-op, man. You gotta get in there.
Basically everything y'all been saying. So, of course, I always gotta throw some Star Wars in there. So Mandalorian,
my guy.
Season 2 is finna be real. I feel like they gonna drop some stuff that we ain't ready for yet. So
I already know.
All my Star Wars fans and Mandos out there, and Baby Yoda lovers. By the way, if y'all want to find good Baby Yoda stuff, go to Target.
Target got it.
Target has a plug on Baby Yoda stuff, like T-shirts and mugs and all of that. So
an actual Baby Yoda,
Baby Yoda. So if y'all need a plug for all my Baby Yoda lovers, go to Target. I'm not gonna let you down on that. They have it everywhere. But just one more thing to put y'all on the spot. And I'm gonna have my mic drop moment. Since we talk about representation and comic books and all that, I'm gonna need y'all top 5 favorite black superheroes, and boom, there it is.
What?
On the spot.
Coming out here.
And it's no particular order from 5, just 5, right off.
Let's see. Static Shock.
Yeah, I love when I get Josh and he can't think.
I'll go with it. Static Shock. Are we considering Green Lantern Corps as their own? Because they're
any superhero. It
okay,
be
cool. Then
animated, whatever.
Then John Stewart, Green Lantern, obviously. Icon. Let me think. I'm doing that all DC. Let me think. Black Panther. I got one. I'm trying to narrow it down though. I'll go for now. I'll go with Black Lightning, but I'm gonna come back to that.
Okay. Let me see. So number 1 is definitely Spawn. You got Spawn. You got Black Panther.
Of course.
Black Lightning. Black Manta.
Oh, okay.
And
the last one is always the hardest.
It's always hard, man. Knock those 4 out first.
Right.
Oh man. And I would say shucks. Boy, I forget.
I love it.
Oh God, I don't know.
You're loving it too much.
Oh man, what is that man's name? I don't know. I can't. It can't come to me right now. Miles, definitely Miles.
Okay, sure.
Oh, cool.
Actually, no. 3rd place is Miles. I can't do that to Miles. He can't be last.
I mean, it's in no particular order, man.
Okay, no particular order. Okay.
Yeah, we just naming them off, man.
Miles. Yeah.
Go ahead, Chad.
Okay. Well, y'all know I'm really biased towards like my science-based heroes out there. So
Okay.
he's not technically not a villain or a hero, but gotta go with my MIT brother, Eric Killmonger. Gotta do
I had
it.
a feeling.
That's my guy. Of course, Mr. Terrific. Gotta
Oh,
do
yeah.
it.
That's a great one. People.
That's a great one. Yeah, I would.
He's
Not,
smart as hell, man.
not a lot of people think like I'm talking. I'm all my science guys. Batwing from Batman.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Lucius' son. Like a lot of people don't really talk about him like that. And then yeah, I gotta go. My boy Miles in that number 4 spot, and of course, Spawn has always had a place in my heart. So that's my 5.
Okay.
I figured Spawn would be there.
All right.
Yep,
All right,
of course.
Bro.
Hey, you got to come out with yours now.
All right. I'm gonna go Blade.
Oh, okay.
Blade. I love Blade. So Blade, Black Panther.
Okay.
Static.
Of course.
Okay, I knew
Of
it.
course.
And then the last two I always have a tug of war with them, but I'm gonna go with, you know what? I'm gonna go with Mr. Terrific too, just because of the fact that he doesn't get enough love.
No,
and
you don't.
then to throw everybody off with this last one, because remember I said live action and I didn't specify if it was male or female, but the OG original Captain Marvel herself.
Yes, thank you, Monica Rambeau.
On the spectrum right now because I found out about her.
Man, I want to go get my comic book and be like, yes.
Everything. So
That's
is
what's
my
up.
top 5. So
Yeah.
here for a round table. If y'all don't know and y'all are comic book lovers, please check out Monica Rambeau. She is the original Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That story that a lot of people don't talk about. And if you go on YouTube, you will find a lot of like YouTubers who, you know, talk about it and break it down. So yes, check that out. That is definitely a treat for you guys. And hopefully she's done right. You know, she's done justice.
Hopefully they do her right, because they did her wrong in Captain Marvel. Yeah. And she's gonna have her debut in WandaVision. And I'm hoping they redeem her, because they really did her bad. Like
that's my top 5, man. And I'm like I said, mic drop. I'm done.
Hey, that Monica Rambeau drop, I was like, man, when you said it, I was like, yes.
That was for you. That was for you, D.
That was a good one.
Yes.
That was a really good one. That was a really good one.
Dang. I might have to switch my number 5, because that makes me want to take out. Yeah, I don't want to take Black Lightning away, but like at the same time, I gotta put her at least number 2. Like I at least got to.
And my honorable mention is always Storm, no matter what I talk about.
Yeah, true.
I love Storm. Those other characters are just like my go-to, but Storm is always in the talks, no matter what. I think everybody.
True.
Storm is definitely Omega level mutant, so she's like a god. So you know.
Yeah. No, you definitely got to put. No, you definitely got to put Storm in there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now my honorable mention. Honorable mention is definitely Firestorm.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the live action, the one from the CW universe. That one.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackson. Jack.
Yeah.
Talking about science-based heroes. That's another good one. I forgot all about Firestorm. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I see Chad loves his science, man.
He does.
Yeah, guys. You know, it's just this is where my heart is, man. You know, I think everybody here at the Scroll Round Table can attest to, you know, because you know, Marcus, you're in film. You know, Joshua, you know, you're great with computers and technology, man. And Demetrius, you know, you're a teacher and you get a chance to connect with children. It's like whenever you find something that just resonates with you and you're able to find like your place in this world, and you know for a fact like this is what I do, like this is me, this is what gives me life, you know, it's like it's the best thing in the world, you know what I'm saying? So you know, you can't beat it, you just really can't, like honestly.
No, you know, when you find where you're supposed to be, like your niche, like it doesn't become working anymore. It's just like, oh, you know, I'm doing something that I actually like doing. and I have the
Exactly.
pleasure of being paid for. You know.
Exactly.
Right.
And I can get, a check for it. And it's like I used to dream about stuff like that, man. I used to be like, Jesus, when I can get a check that says, like blah 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 on it, like, biologist, chemist, scientist, when I get, and then my name is next to it, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, it's a dream come true, man. It really is. And I know it's like that for, you guys as well. And just to be able to, even with this podcast, just to be able to connect with people that do what you do and do things differently, than what you do. It's just like, it's cool, man, to just get to have that exposure and not only, have guests that can show the, I guess, just the variety of who can work in these fields. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like people need to hear that there are Black guys out there that want to be directors, that there are Black guys out there that want to be educators, that there are Black guys out there that want to be computer scientists. Like, that we're here. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm just glad we're able to represent it and show people, who we are and what we do.
Yeah, and
Good
have
stuff,
a platform to talk about our our views on certain things, like and give our opinion on them, because there might be somebody out there that like has been thinking that way, and like they didn't have that person that they could have that shared idea with, and we could be that for them.
Exactly. 100%. And I'm just happy. I couldn't be doing this with a better group of guys, honestly. Could not. You're all best friends and brothers to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, couldn't have a better group of people to do this with.
Yeah, man, same.
Likewise, bro.
100%.
We at the Square Round Table. We're deep, man. We've been in this for a minute.
No, we roll. Yeah, we rolling deep, bro. Definitely, 100%. But yeah, guys, like,
Cringe.
but before we sign
Oh,
out,
hey, chill out with that. Chill out with that cringe. I'm trying to be emotional here, okay? I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to be emotional and sympathetic here.
Joshua got to be a hater.
He always got to have his bag of hate, he's bag of haters over here. Hate.
But does anybody have like a last like message or anything that you want to sign off on before we go ahead and just cut this thing?
All right.
And now a word from our sponsors. The Square Roundtable podcast is brought to you by 2Photon Art. 2Photon is an art collective whose primary mission is to make science more accessible through science communication and art. Some of their art includes science-themed patches, jewelry, stickers, zines, and clothing, all of which contribute to the inclusivity, equality, and the overall advocacy for human rights in and out of the scientific community. You can find all of these wonderful pieces on 2photonart.com. And for all our YouTube viewers out there, we will add all of their website and social media info in the description below. Hey, all you freaks and geeks out there, we are the Square Round Table. The Square Round Table podcast is brought to you by Science on a Postcard. Science on a Postcard is an online store that specializes in science-themed enamel badges, lanyards, environmentally friendly tote bags, notebooks, and lots more goodies that represent individuality and inclusivity in the scientific community. You could find all these wonderful products on scienceonapostcard.com. And for all our YouTube watchers out there, we will add their website and all their social media platforms in the description below.
Short to sweet to the point. Be yourself. Yeah, let's do that. Be yourself. Yeah, be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you, you're not valuable, important, and that you can't do anything. Do what you want to do. If you want to be, let's say, an astronaut, don't let anybody stop you from being an astronaut. Don't, say, oh, well, I don't know if I can do that. Just do it. Like, just go out there, have the drive, and you'll make it happen. My little nugget.
Definitely. Anybody else got anything to say before we head out?
Pretty much the same. Yeah, just whatever you do in life, do it to the fullest, man. My grandfather told me, and Dr. King said this too, even if you're a janitor, custodian, whatever, garbage man, whatever you are, if you love that job, do it to your fullest, because you never know who's watching you, and that could take you to so many places. It's all about how you carry yourself. It might
sure.
be in your mind. It might be the worst, job you have at the moment. But you have a job, something a lot of people don't have. And though you want to be somewhere else, it's going to come. Just appreciate what you have. Take pride in what you do, because you're no lesser of a person if you're not where you want to be at that point, in life. And then to all our younger viewers, don't let anybody discourage you from being different. Embrace who you are. If you like the color red, don't let nobody tell you anything different. If you like to watch, this show or that show, don't let anybody persuade you to do anything different. And like Dmitri said, just be you, man. And, don't let anybody say who you are and what you want to be. The great, my brother Malcolm X said, it's only, they teach you to be what you are. They put that in your mind. The media says, this is how you should be. This is how you should look. This is what you should do. But don't let them determine that. You determine that for yourself. So you make the decisions of who you are going to be and what you're going to do. So here at the Square Roundtable, we just want to encourage you guys to, stay positive at this time and just, keep a head strong, because we know it's hard for everybody. And, whoever you have at that moment, just go to them and talk to them. It's okay to go talk to somebody. So that's my last little soapbox moment. Peace and love.
Yeah. That was a good nugget.
And, right. Yeah, that was a good one. But for me, I would say is what's for you is for you, and don't compare yourself to anyone else. Like whatever you do, no one else can do it like you. And anything you do, just drawing a line on a piece of paper, that's your line. No one can draw that line like you drew it. No one can produce that same stroke on the piece of paper. And everybody has their own path in life, and you have your own set of blessings. So don't compare yourself to other people. Plain and simple.
Nice. Like that.
All good things, guys. I really appreciate that. And yeah, that's a great message. We all pretty much said the same things, guys. If whatever you want to do, it don't matter what it is, be yourself, do what you do to the best of your ability. Don't let anybody discourage you. And yeah, we all realize at the Square Round Table that these times are hard for a lot of people. Some people are less fortunate than others. And, in these situations, it is okay, to feel upset. It is okay to be needy, to seek help, definitely. Don't be scared to talk to somebody and, just tell people how you feel, because 9 times out of 10, your neighbor feels the exact same way, guys. So at the end of the day, everybody at the Square Round Table, we love you. And thanks for tuning in, guys. And yeah, so just like every other time, man, guess what time it is, boys?
Shameless
promotion.
Shameless promotion. So you can catch the Square Round Table on majorzonemusic.com every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Central time, and 1 p.m. Eastern time.
And you can catch the Square Round Table on YouTube on Fridays at any time. Make sure that you like and comment and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get a notification when we post our videos.
100%. And please, guys, comment under our videos. We want to hear, y'all's thoughts on our videos, thoughts on the topics at hand. Like even this one, like what are your top 5 favorite superheroes? They don't have to be black or any specific race. Just, let us know your top 5. Let us know what you think about some of our top 5. Let us know what shows you're watching right now. Anything, we love to jump in conversation and nerd out with, anybody that wants to talk. So definitely we'll be in the comments lurking around. Don't be scared. Just jump right on in, guys.
Please talk to us.
Oh my
Yes, guys. we With that being said, guys, this has been the Square Round Table. Peace. We're out.
We out, man.